want to do a little update about all the weird shit just keeps happening. So last week at my work, sorry, I'm driving on the highway. So last week at my work, and it wasn't just at work, it was all over town. There's this strange smell, man. It's like everywhere you go, everywhere you went, I was smelling it. To me, it smelled like a really strange type of burning wood. And it was so just like, almost like it wasn't a real smell. It's so hard to describe. Because it was just everywhere, right? It's like if you get near something, the odor will get stronger, and if you get away from it, it'll get weaker. So you can kind of tell the source of the smell. It's, say, coming from wherever, right? But this, it was just so, almost sometimes imperceptible, but it was like constant. Smelling it everywhere, and my eyes were burning. And this went on for about 3 days. And so we have daily meetings at work, and the lead was like telling us, about a safety, we report any kind of possible safety issues at the meeting, and they were saying, there was concern that there might have been some kind of gas leak in the building. And so it was reported as a possible safety issue, and so they were bringing it up, and then they were saying some people said it smelled like burnt coffee, and it didn't smell like coffee to me. It smelled like some kind of weird type of burnt wood, and I didn't think anything of it at the time because I was actually working on a project where I was working around wood, and I was like, am I just smelling sawdust? But I would still smell it when I went outside of where I was, doing this little project. Anyway, my point is, it was everywhere, and this is up north of Seattle. And I smelled it all over town. Everywhere I went. And I kept smelling it. And last week I also took a trip out of state. I kept smelling it just right on the edge of perception until I got 2 states away. And so, another thing at the safety meeting too, we were talking about it, and some people were saying they didn't smell anything at all. Like, nothing. No smell at all. And some people were saying it smelled like burnt coffee. It was just, so there's all this difference in perception of this smell. And so, like last night, I just got this weird, news feed about in Southwest Washington, like down towards Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. There was a report that was widespread. People were reporting this weird smell. But the perception of what they were smelling was inconsistent. Now, this was a USA Today article that I read this in. And it's just very odd that so many people across the whole, it's like the western side of the state. And so I started looking at other news sources, and there was a local news station, YouTube channel, looked at it, and I was reading the comments. People were smelling this up even north Seattle. So you've got this weird smell that people are smelling. Their description of it's inconsistent, and it's statewide. This really, really concerns me, man. And nobody can, the local authorities down in Southwest Washington they don't know what it is. It's obviously not a local phenomenon. Like, generally, if something's leaking gas somewhere, it's going to be in a local area of town or something. But to be this widespread is really concerning to me. And I want to bring up something about what happened last year. Like summer of 2023, I was up here. And I was on the Pacific coast, right? So like I'm upwind of everything. And I'm smelling weird chemical smells all the time. All the time up there. So, and the wind is predominantly from the west, from the ocean eastwards, right? I'm not downwind of anything. Now, the smell I was smelling back then was more chemical. And I'm like, where the hell is this smell coming from? And I was just like, I got to get it. Because it was like burning. It would burn my skin and burn my nose, burn my eyes. And here's the thing, I was like, where is it coming from? And at one point, if you've ever stuck your finger in your mouth to wet it and then hold it up to kind of feel the general wind direction, I did that one day when I was smelling it really powerful. And it's everywhere. I mean, you can smell it everywhere. So it's obviously on whatever it is, it's on my skin. I stick my finger in my mouth to wet it, to get the general wind direction, and my mouth went numb. My mouth went numb. There is with all the craziness that's going on, we've got our borders fucking wide open. I saw this report last night that evidently there's reports of people sneaking in missiles, surface-to-air missiles. I don't know. I tell you what, there is strange shit going on constantly now. Constantly. All over the place. The world's destabilizing. You have all this shit going on in the Middle East. You got all this shit going on with Russia and Ukraine. Just get ready, people. Shit is just going to get weirder and weirder. Keep your eyes open. Things you think are not important. Don't ignore your senses. Don't ignore your intuition. If you say you smell something and the guy over here is like, I don't smell anything, you may not be fucking crazy. Anyway, peace out.